Hey friends, in today's video, I am going to talk about 4 things that no one will tell you about becoming a Squarespace designer. Let's get into the video. Okay, so just a little bit of context for you. If we haven't met before, my name is David. I have helped build over 150 different websites on Squarespace. I've probably touched over 700 websites on Squarespace. In 2019, I made over $250,000. Yes, $250,000 just designing Squarespace websites. I landed projects from $1,000 to $15,000. Actually, one was $17,000. There were other components involved, but it was built on Squarespace at the end. And right now, I am one of the top 5 experts, usually number 1 or 2 on the Squarespace Experts, Squarespace Marketplace. If you go to squarespace.com/designer, you should see my agency, Spacebar Agency, there. Now, that was a lot of bragging, but I want to make a point very, very clear that this information and what you're hearing right now is coming from someone who's done a lot of this and has worked with a lot of other designers who do the same exact thing. Now, let's break down 4 things that no one is telling you about designing on Squarespace. First and foremost, it may be your assumption now after hearing my intro, this can be very lucrative. Just this morning, I read a Facebook comment of an agency or a company, a marketing agency, saying something to the extent of, that's the point. You're not supposed to pay someone to design your website on Squarespace. You're supposed to do it yourself and then pay for experts to do the SEO or the copywriting or any of that stuff. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. I would say my stance is this. Number 1, that is a great benefit of Squarespace, is that you can get up and running quickly and easily. And if you are an Apple user or you like Apple style products, Squarespace is very simple. Double click in, make an edit, click save, you're done. But the reality is putting a website together is pretty easy, but designing a website is really hard. Anyone can decorate their home, and everyone does, but very few are actually interior designers. And I would almost go to say that some people frown upon it as if it's like not, it's just a little bit funny because it's a bit of a no-code solution. It basically is a no-code solution, but it was never labeled that in the first place. And so in most software spheres, it's looked down upon. I don't understand why. I think it's almost like shunned a little bit, but seriously and truly, like there's no reason to hate on a Squarespace designer. People will happily pay thousands of dollars for a Squarespace website, and this is part of the reason. The thing that's so important about Squarespace is that it's easy to use after the project's done. One of the main reasons why I use Squarespace is because after the project's done, it's very easy for the client to maintain the website. And you have to consider business owners, even small business owners, don't want to sit there and try to spin the wheel of figuring out how to design a website, watch 75 YouTube videos, and figure everything out for themselves. They are happy and willing to pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, or even $10,000 for you to design their website from beginning to end. Now, I was shocked when I first figured this out, but when I got that first client who paid me $1,500 for a website, for a 5-page website, I was blown away. Now, number 2, this bleeds a little bit from the previous one, but there's a few points I want to make here. Number 2 is this. Clients are happy to pay up to $10,000 for a website that is built on Squarespace. Again, you may be looking at me like, oh, that sounds crazy. But the reality is, and what no one's talking about, is at the end of the day, the platform doesn't matter. Yes, some have these features and some have those features and some have different benefits and some have different cons and all this other stuff. Very true. But the platform isn't the point of the website. The company is the point of the website. And the best way to get that point across is what's important. So if you came to me and said, David, I'm willing and ready to pay $10,000 for a directory website built in Squarespace, I would tell you no, because it's not a good match for the company. It's going to be very clunky, and depending on what you actually need, it would be better to go to like a Webflow or a WordPress to get that done. But now to the main point of this topic and this video is people are happy to pay $10,000 for a website. Number 1, because they're looking for a consultant. or a professional. They're looking for someone who knows how to make it all work. Number two, they have enough money. Some people are willing and ready to pay because they don't even want to think about it, and they want someone they can work with who's friendly and who will take care of all the stresses of bringing it to life. Third is someone who just doesn't have the time, which they could be a little bit of a bad client, which is a whole nother video, but someone who doesn't have the time and is willing to pay for it could be a really good option, because at the end of the day, they just need a site up as soon as possible, and they don't want to spend 40, 60, 80 hours learning all the different tips and tricks and tools and things to get their site up and running. So to finalize point number two, the platform is not the point of the website. The company or the business or the portfolio is the point of the website. And Squarespace meets the needs of a lot of different types of businesses and agencies and consultancies to get their site up and running, to show off their portfolio, to show off their work, to create a blog, to create a simple store, things like that. Quick interruption. Hey, if you are looking to become a Squarespace designer and do not know where to begin, I have some resources for you. I'm in the process of building my first course for Squarespace design. It's probably a few months out from when this video gets published, but if you're watching this video and you're looking to become a designer, first of all, I have an ebook that you could download, and I also have an email newsletter that would be so helpful to you. It's a little mini course that you could access as well. Both of those are free. And over time, I am going to be building a course as well. All of this is kind of negotiable when things are going to happen. But if more people are interested, well, it'll speed up the process. So if you're interested in that, please go to the link down below, click on that resources button, and you should be able to go there, find some resources. There's actually a lot of other resources there as well about Squarespace, about designing websites. So if you're looking to become a designer, check out that resource page. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so number three, and this is not, I am not disappointed, I am not mad, I am not upset, but I think it's worth knowing if you're thinking about becoming a Squarespace designer, which is this: Squarespace is a poor partner. They do not do a good job of, I'll say it this way, every other company, major company, Shopify, Wix, Webflow, rewards its designers. Squarespace doesn't really do that. They have a referral program and they try to set things up for designers, but at the end of the day, it's really not that ideal. Now, I want to reiterate, I am not disappointed or upset, and this isn't like not doing this in any way to like protect our reputation or anything. Our company was just recently featured on their YouTube channel, and at the end of the day, I just want to make it very clear that the relationship as a designer, Squarespace doesn't really look out for designers. They look out for the end user, which is a good thing. It makes your job a little bit harder at times, designing pages and repeating pages and all of that. You could duplicate a page, but then if you create 10 pages and then you have to add one item to all those 10 pages or 10 items to those 10 pages, well, you have to go through it's a very meticulous process. And so that becomes a little bit of a lot with the relationship with Squarespace, but at the end of the day, the user experience is really nice. Okay, and the final point that we want to talk about today, about 4 things that no one's talking about when it comes to becoming a Squarespace designer, is this. And this is the one that's probably gonna be the most meta, but so important. Fancy websites, custom websites, are for designers. They're not for end users. Yes, a great user experience is critical and it's so important. And this point, there are probably people who can misconstrue this point very quickly. But what I want to make clear in this video, talking about Squarespace design, is most people who want to design on Squarespace ask this question, which is, well, can you customize it? And yes, you could customize it, and maybe you could compare it to Webflow. And Webflow out of the box is 100,000% customizable. And for the most part, which I will add in that caveat, and for the most part, Squarespace offers that out of the box. The interface is clean, the logo top left, main navigation top right, background images, H1, H2, H3, H4, tags, body tags, everything is set up. Add images, add videos. The main elements of a website, mobile responsiveness, It's all built into Squarespace. Some of the projects that I've done for, let's say, 7, 8, 9K were not fancy custom websites. Did I use a bit of custom code? Sure, totally. But at the end of the day, it's not the amount of customizations that makes a site worth 10K. It's about the company, it's about the value that you bring, it's about the experience that you bring, and it's also about what the company needs in the process. It's like buying a bottle of water from Disneyland. You pay like $12 for a bottle of water that outside of the park, or right outside of the park, costs 50 cents or $1. But part of that is just context. If somebody needs a site up fast and they're a bigger company, they could pay more. Maybe they just don't want to even think about all the details and they want you to take on all the details. What pages should be on the site? How should it look? And then they'll start to fill in a bit of the text and the images. Well, that's more responsibility that you take on. So a 7K, 8K, 10K website, people are happy to pay it. And it's not a matter of it's the fanciest or most custom site. I've seen Shopify websites that are super custom and they do decent in business. And I've seen Shopify websites that are not custom at all. They're on a basic template and they're doing multi-million-dollar sales on their sites. And one final note, fancy websites means more code often. Often it means more code. And when there's more code, what does that mean? Well, site takes longer to load, which means the user experience is not as great. So let's review what we just discussed. First of all, it could be a very lucrative career. Building Squarespace websites, there are people who are willing and ready to pay for sites now. Second point, they're willing and ready to pay up to 10K, even more possibly, but easily pay up to 10K for a website. So if you think I could only charge $500 or $1,000 or $1,500, well, actually there are businesses that are willing and ready to pay thousands of dollars for sites right now. Third, just something to know if you get into it, Squarespace is not the best partner. Other businesses, other platforms do really well of supporting designers. Squarespace doesn't really have systems built for that. Fourth, fancy websites, custom websites are not the definition of a great website. The definition of a great website is a great user experience and, most importantly, actions being taken. If you're looking for newsletter signups, or you're looking for people to click the call to action, or if you're looking for people to buy products, that's the definition of a good website. It's getting something done. It's helping people find what they're looking for. It's making sure that people's time is valued through the process. It's respected so they can find what they're looking for, get it, and get out. So maybe you're thinking about becoming a Squarespace designer. Hey, I have some resources for you. First and foremost, I have an ebook down below. Just click that first link in the description and you can download a free ebook that will help you get started or take steps to further your career as a Squarespace designer. I've worked with hundreds of clients and I am so ready to help other designers build their reputation, build their clientele, and build their business and their life for the freedom that they can get by being a Squarespace designer as a freelancer and being able to own their schedule more. And finally, if you have any questions or if you have any comments, go to the comments down below and just drop me a note. I reply to every single comment. And so I'd love to hear from you if you have any further questions or you have any additional comments that you want to add to the conversation. With that, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. When you hit that like button, it lets me know that you got value from this video. It tells the YouTube algorithm some other stuff, but it tells me that you got value from this video. And if you're looking for more content like this, consider subscribing. I publish new videos every single week and you won't want to miss it. With that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.